Hi guys! So a lot of you in the comments have been asking for me to do a house tour. We live in a Victorian house that was built in the early 1900s, so it's really old, but we have a lot of things that we want to do to it. So I felt kind of weird, like, I don't know, I think anytime you share something on a YouTube channel or a blog, you sort of feel like it has to be perfect first. And ours definitely is not. We have so many things that we want to do to it, but I just thought I would show you like where we're at right now. I'll put in some before pictures as I go throughout the house and show you what it was like when we moved in. We moved in about a year ago, almost a year ago. So yeah, I'll show you sort of like where we've come from with the house, and then I'll talk about all of the plans that we have for the future and things, other renovations that we want to do over time. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm only gonna be showing the first floor. The second floor is, we haven't literally done anything up there, and it's just like bedrooms and a bathroom. So I'm just gonna show you through the first floor, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so here we are in the foyer entryway of the house, and it's pretty kind of blah right now. It's kind of like the most blah room in the house or area in the house. So basically when we moved in, and I'll insert a picture, there was like this whole foyer and staircase and the upstairs hallway was covered in this red and green and beige striped wallpaper. So it was a lot of that wallpaper, and it was just very like early 80s and just not very cute. So that was one of the first things I did, was removed all this wallpaper. And I painted everything white, and my thinking was like, there's all this wood trim, so white will kind of lighten everything up. But I don't know, in person, all the white just looked really, really plain. And that's sort of something that I've learned about decorating an older house with wood trim like this is white. You would think that it would just be like a good contrast to all the wood, but it just looks unfinished or something. I don't know. It just looked kind of plain. Plus, when we took off the wallpaper, we found a bunch of little cracks like this. This wall here was covered in like cardboard and plaster. It wasn't a normal drywalled wall. So yeah, so we put this wallpaper up, which I really like. It's from Rifle Paper Company. And I like it because it has sort of like a vintage feel to it, which matches, you know, the age of the house, but it's more modern and a little bit more neutral than the horrible wallpaper that was here before was. So we did this wall because we had to, because like I said, this wall was like all messed up. But once we did it, we both were like, oh my gosh, that looks so pretty. And so we decided we're probably just gonna go ahead and wallpaper the rest of the foyer in that same, probably just to this wall. Like, I think I'm gonna end up painting this a different color because the white just looks, like I said, I think it looks kind of unfinished. But yeah, so we're gonna do the whole entryway in the same wallpaper, which wallpapering is a lot of work. Taking wallpaper down or putting it up, it's a lot of work, but we kind of didn't have a choice in here. So anyway, so that's the next thing that we're gonna do in here, is just finish wallpapering. Then we'd also like to replace this light fixture someday because it's just pretty, you know, 80s. But yeah, other than that, I just need to hang a lot of like colorful art in here because otherwise it's just a lot of like brown. We want to definitely take this carpet up and do the same thing that the last people did on this flooring. We want to do going up the steps. So we want these to be wood. I can't imagine what this house looked like when it was all covered in this brown carpet. That's what it was not very long ago. So yeah, we want to refinish the wood floors. This is like, I'm starting a gallery wall. I want to have this whole like staircase just covered in pictures, but obviously it just takes a while. Oh, and I wanted to show you this woodwork real quick on the first floor. So it's just so detailed and beautiful. And I always thought before we moved in here, like if I ever moved into a house that had wood trim or oak trim, I would paint it for sure, like in a second. But when we moved in, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually really, this is really beautiful. Then you go into the living room. And when we moved in, this room was sort of like a light beigey green. Some people liked it, like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I painted this like It's not quite teal. I don't really know what you would call this color. It's kind of like a bluish green, and I absolutely love how this looks against the trim. Like, it's really hard to find a color that looks good with the wood trim, but this really just complements it, I think. I love the fireplace woodwork. It's so pretty, I think. It's got like all these little details, and then these little details here. It's just so pretty. This is what it looks like looking into the dining room. So now we'll just head that direction. Oh, but real quick, I want to show you, this is really cool. These are the original pocket doors. This is something that a lot of old houses have. So yeah, that's what the doors look like closed, which we almost never have them closed, but it is kind of like a cool feature, something that you don't see in a lot of houses. This is the dining room. We really haven't done anything in here, and I feel like it needs something. Yeah, I'm probably gonna paint in here. I was talking to my sister yesterday about what color to paint, and we were thinking either like emerald green. I found a picture on Pinterest that I thought would be really pretty, or Heather suggested like a purplish kind of color to complement that in there. And I think that would be pretty too, but it just needs a little something in here. I just think it's kind of plain. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas on, hi Chester, on what color we should paint in here, let me know. Anyway, okay, so then you go in here. This little area, this is like our desk type area, and I painted the cabinets. I didn't do that good of a job. It took like 5 coats to cover up oak. I don't know if you've ever tried covering oak. It's not fun. They're not done because we decided against this hardware, and anyway, so we still have some stuff to do there. Then this is the kitchen, and the kitchen is a really nice size. Like, I really like the layout of it. It's pretty big, I think. It was last redone based on the records that were left with the house. I think it was done in '83. So we do definitely have some stuff that we'd like to do in here, but it's all pretty much cosmetic. Thankfully, you know, we won't need to get all new cabinets or anything, but we'd like to probably have the cabinets refaced. There's a lot of stuff we want to do in here. I'll kind of list it all off, but we're probably just going to save up and then just like do it all at once. But we'd like to replace this like fluorescent light with maybe 2 pendants here, and then get the cabinets refaced and painted. Subway tile backsplash, remove this scallop thingy. What else? New appliances. These appliances are kind of funny because they're really old. New countertops. We'd like to do like a, I don't know about granite, but maybe like a quartz or something that looks kind of marbly. And then we'd also like to get new floors. So pretty much anything cosmetic in here we'd like to redo. And then there's this hallway back here. When we moved in, the trim and the door was like olive green, and then the walls were orangey beige, and it just, ugh, it was awful. So I did something kind of weird in here that I've never done before, which is I painted the walls black. And I didn't really know if I was gonna like that, but I saw some pictures on Pinterest and I thought it looked really nice. So I painted this door black, and then, because it's just like a little area, so it doesn't really look like too overwhelming. And then also I knew that our kitchen, we wanted it to be probably pretty like white and bright, so I thought it would be kind of a cool contrast. The other thing I did here in the kitchen is I hung this gallery wall, and this is just from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box. But what was really awesome about it was it came with a huge sheet of paper, like a huge poster folded up, and you just put it on your wall, and then it shows you exactly where to put your nail holes. So you don't have to try to figure out exactly how to line up all these pictures, which would have been really hard. This is the little like first floor half bath. I painted the trim and the walls. They were like that same beigey orange when we moved in, and the trim was that same olive green. Don't ask me why. And I painted the walls. This is called like a taupe color, but in person it looks more like a purpley gray. And then I added new hardware here. I made these out of graphics that I had already bought and just had those printed from Printful. The last room here on the first floor is the sunroom, and this is one of my favorite rooms. This is definitely Chester's favorite room. He hangs out in here all day long. And this was like beige also when we moved in. There's a lot of beige in this house. This is like my favorite color, kind of like a light minty blue. It just makes me so happy. We recently took this door off too, and it kind of allowed us to have more usable space right here. So this is a little like kitchen cart from IKEA. This is Chester. and we hung Wes's guitar, and we just have this was like our old couch that we had before we got the big sectional. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I did in here. Am I bothering you? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little look at part of my house, and I hope to share future like renovation projects and DIY projects around the house with you guys too. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!